How's it going, YouTube? Dirk here, GC Blues 45. And folks, let me tell you something. I suck tonight. I only get one freaking game right tonight. Any guesses what game I got tonight? Before we get into this video, literally, any guesses what game I got right tonight? Can you believe it? There was only one game I got. The rest I missed. I went 1 for 4 tonight. That's bad, if you don't say, right? Sometimes I don't know how I can get it right. I'm just guessing who I think will win. But I don't know how I do it. Alright, folks, if you happen to come across this video and happen to like it, let's get that thumbs up bill going. It's very important. Helps keep the channel going. And here we go. Starting off with Tampa at the Rangers. Entering this matchup, Tampa was 44, 26, and 6, and 94 points. The Rangers 36, 33, and 7, and 79 points. And at the end of 60 minutes, the not Tampa. What did I say Toronto for? Tampa beats the Rangers by a score of 5-1. 5-1. Yeah. Shots on goal were the Lightning 23, the Rangers 39. The Bolts had 38 saves with the Rangers 18. Tampa went 0 for 3. Sorry, not 0 for 3. 3 for 4 on the power play, with the New York Rangers 1 for 3 on the power play. Uh, this was total dominance by the Lightning. They shut them out. They totally annihilated the Rangers, and the Rangers couldn't keep up. They didn't even want to try, and the Rangers didn't play full 60 minutes game of hockey, but Tampa did. That's why they won, and way to go. All right, my Blues in Winnipeg. Going into this matchup, the Blues 43-28, 793 points. The Jets 52, 21 and 4 and 108 points. And at the end of 60 minutes, the Blues lose by a score of 3-1. Hold on. All right, sorry about that. Uh, so yeah, so here we go. The Jets had 26 saves with the Blues 15. The Jets had 14 saves with the Blues 23. Winnipeg went 0 for 1 on the power play with St. Louis 0 for 2 on the power play. And the Jets win the series 3-1. 3-1-0 was their record. And they outscored us 11-10. Yeah, hate to say it. But tonight was a pretty good game. The Blues really fought hard. If you say the Blues did not, you are sadly mistaken. The Blues really played their butts off, and I mean they played their butts off. The Blues did try; they played a full 60 minutes. Um, Despite that, they pulled Huffer, and the Jets got the empty netter. The Blues did a good job, and I'm not mad at them. So way to go by my Blues. We can't win them all. We have a good streak going. We got a good run going. And by the way, this is only our third loss since coming back from the break. So that's some good sign right there that we're doing something right. So we'll wait and see what happens. going into the rest of the um, series. And by the way, when we're done with this, we're going to show. I'm going to show you the playoffs, where we stand, where everything looks, and who I think is in, and definitely you know who's out. And I can give you that website again. Next, we had the Oilers at the Ducks. Going into the matchup, Edmonton was 44, 27, and 5 and 93 points. Anaheim 33, 35, and 8 and 74 points. And at the end of 60 minutes, the Ducks beat the Oilers by a score 3-2. Shots on goal were the Ducks 21, the Oilers 47. The Ducks had 45 saves with the Oilers 18. Anaheim went 0 for 2 on the power play with Edmonton 0 for 6 on the power play. And Anaheim wins the series 3-1. 3-1-0 was their record. And the Ducks outscored the Oilers 16-10. Yeah. What to say about this one? This was an evenly matched game all the way through. The Oilers fought hard. I mean, they fought tooth and nail with the Ducks tonight. And despite tying in the third, the Ducks got that third goal. That's why they won. So I'm not disappointed with the Oilers tonight. They really fought hard. They looked good, but the Ducks just couldn't. They will not want to lose. And you gotta also remember, the Ducks, they're playing for their draft future. Their draft position. It depends on where they finish and also what spot they get in for the draft lottery. Because if you get anything lower than 11th, you're not going to get that number one pick. It's 11th on up. So you got to hope you get that number one pick. If you don't, if you get 11th all the way to the first, the worst, you are in. So if you make 16th, 15th, 14th, 13th, and 12th, you're not getting that. You're not going to get that number one pick. You can only move up 10 spots. So, and we'll get into that when we get to the draft lottery time. All right, so I'm now 1-2. You figure out what games I lost now? Next was Seattle and LA entering the matchup. Seattle was 33, 38, and 6 and 72 points. LA 44, 23, and 9 and 97 points. And at the end of 60 minutes, the LA Kings lose to the Kraken by a score of 2-1. Shots on goal were the Kraken 28, the Kings 29. The Kraken had 28 saves with LA 26. Seattle was 0 for 1 on the power play with LA 0 for 3 on the power play. Oh boy. And you know what? All the scoring happened in the first period with this game. But I had to say this was an evenly matched game. The Kings really did try. They wanted to win. They tried their best. They didn't do it. So I had to say the Kings played a full 60-minute game of hockey, which I think they did try. I have to admit they did. And Seattle just wanted to win more. That's why. Just like Anaheim, they're playing for their playoff future too. So wait and see. And so, and finally, the Flames at San Jose. Entering this matchup, the Flames were 36, 27, and 13 and 85 points. The Sharks 20, 46, and 10 and 50 points. Now remember, this was my upset special of the night. And at the end of 60 minutes, the Calgary Flames beat the San Jose Sharks by a score of 3-2. Shots on goal were the Flames 32, the Sharks 31. Both teams had 29 saves. Calgary went 1 for 1 on the power play, with San Jose 1 for 3 on the power play. After 40 minutes, this was an evenly match, despite the Sharks having a 1-0 lead. And then Calgary I don't know what Calgary was doing. They scored all three of their goals in the third period. Sharks tried to come back, but it wasn't enough. Sharks really did a good job. I have to admit, they did. They played a full 60-minute game of hockey, and they literally tried. I mean, they tried. I watched the highlights, and by the way, Sportsnet was going to air this game through the streaming service. One of their broadcasters passed away today, and they did not produce the game. So, to the Calgary Flames family and Sportsnet family, I'll give you a salute. He was also blue, so and the blue and the Jets paid tribute to him also, so that was kind of neat. What to say about this game? Um, but literally, it was a good game all around through. So, therefore, I got nothing bad to say. So, with that being said, let's get into the playoff outlook. Where we stand, where everything is. All right, starting off with the Eastern Division, Eastern Conference, and the Atlantic Division. It's Toronto at 47, 25, and 4 and 98 points. Tampa, we know their record, which is now 45, 26, and 6 and 96 points. Florida at 44, 29, and 4 and 92 points. Ottawa at 42, 29, and 6 and 90 points. Montreal at 38, 39, and 85 points. Detroit at 36, 33, and 7 and 79 points. Boston at 34, 36, and 6 and 74 points. And Buffalo at 31, 9, 38, and 9 and 71 points. Games left for these teams: Toronto has 6, Tampa Bay has 5, Florida has 5, Ottawa has 5, Montreal has 5, Detroit has 6, Boston has 6, and Buffalo has 4. In the Metropolitan Division, it is Washington at 49, 19, and 9 at 107 points. Carolina at 46, 26, and 4 at 96 points. New Jersey at 41, 29, and 7 and 98 points. Followed by the Rangers at 36, 34, and 7 and 79 points. Followed by the Islanders at 34, 32, 10 and 78 points. Then it's Columbus at 34, 33, and 9 and 77 points. Pittsburgh at 31, 35, 12 and 74 points. And then Philadelphia at 31, 37, and 9 and 71 points. Okay, division wise, Boston and Buffalo, they're out. They're mathematically out. Also joining the list is Columbus and Pittsburgh and Philadelphia. They're already out, but Columbus joins the list, folks. They are mathematically out. If you go to that site that I told you about a while back, you'll see who's out, who's in. You can tell. If you got a greater than 99% chance of not making the playoffs, you're out. If you're even at 99%, you're out. And the Islanders are next. So are Detroit. They're on the cusp. Now, in the East, we had a little shakeup, as you noticed, in the Atlantic Division. Toronto's now at first, followed by Tampa and Florida. So Toronto is the first seed. They are the division leaders. Then Tampa and Florida, they flip-flopped. So, yeah. So Tampa and Florida are now 2 and 3. And in the Metropolitan Division, it is Washington, Carolina, and New Jersey, with Carolina and New Jersey taking on each other. Now the wild cards. Wild card 2 is currently held by Montreal. Wild card 1 held by Ottawa. So they'll take on. So Ottawa will take on um, Toronto, and Montreal will take on Washington. So it's an all Atlantic um, wild card. Now for the West. Starting off with Winnipeg. Oh, and by the way, even though it's not official yet, um, I gave it to Colorado. Colorado is in. No, Edmonton is in. New Jersey, they haven't really clinched yet. So, and even though the Blues haven't clinched yet at 93 points, I'm not going to give it to them just yet because I want to see what goes on in these final 3 games. If I see some good improvement, I'll give it to them, but if not, you know what happens. Okay, all right, let's get into the West. Start off with Winnipeg in the Central Division at 53, 21, and 4 and 110 points. Next is the Dallas Stars at 50, 22, and 5 and 105 points. Next is Colorado at 47, 24, and 4 and 98 points, followed by the Blues at 43, 29, and 7 and 93 points. Next is Minnesota at 42, 29, 7 and 91 points. Utah is next at 30, 27, 11, and 71 points. Nashville at 25, 34, and 8 and 58 points. And Chicago 21, 38, and 9 and 49 points. Oh, by the way, games left in the Metropolitan Division. Washington has 5, Carolina has 6, New Jersey has 5, the Rangers have 5, the Islanders have 6, Columbus has 6, Pittsburgh has 4, and Philadelphia has 5 games left. Meanwhile, for the Central, Winnipeg has 4, Dallas has 3, Colorado has 4, the Blues have 3, Minnesota has 4, Utah has 5, Nashville has 5, Chicago has 5. Now for the Pacific Division. Starting off with Vegas at 47, 22, and 8, 102 points. Then it's LA at 44, 24, and 9, and 97 points. Followed by Edmonton at 44, 28, and 5, and 93 points. Then it's Calgary at 37, 27, and 13, and 87 points. Next is Vancouver at 35, 29, and 13, and 83 points. Followed by Anaheim at 34, 35, and 8, and 76 points. Then it's Seattle at 34, 38, and 6, and 74 points. And then San Jose at 20, 47, and 10, and 50 points. Utah's joined the mix. Teams out. Vancouver, they're out. And also, we already know who's out. Anaheim, Seattle, San Jose, Nashville, and Chicago. They're all out. So we now have a total of 7 teams out in the West, 5 teams out in the East. So, yeah. By the way, games left in the Pacific Division. Vegas has 5, LA has 5, Edmonton has 5, Calgary has 5, Vancouver has 5, Anaheim has 5, Seattle has 4, San Jose 5. So we're down to 3 to 6 games left for each team. 3 being the only team is us, the Blues, and everyone has 4 to 6 games left. So these are really heating up. Now for the Western Conference playoff outlook. Currently, Winnipeg is the first team in the Central Division. Then Dallas and Colorado, they flip-flopped. And this has been flip-flopping in this. So Dallas and Colorado will take on each other. And then, of course, Vegas is the number 1 team in the Pacific. Then it's LA and Edmonton. LA and Edmonton has flipped. So LA and Edmonton, LA's second, Edmonton's third. Now the wild cards, this one's an interesting one. The Blues currently hold the first wild card spot. Minnesota is in the second seat. So if things ended today. Minnesota will take on Winnipeg. The Blues will take on Vegas. President's Trophy goes to Winnipeg. So, yeah, and home ice advantage throughout the playoffs go to Winnipeg also. So it's an all Central Division wild card in the West. It's going to happen. We'll find out as we close out this time. I do want to thank everyone for tuning in. So thank you very much. And folks, if you have not subscribed yet, please hit that subscribe icon. It's very important. It helps to keep the channel going. And literally, hit that subscribe icon if you haven't subscribed yet. And tell your friends too. And if you want to be notified every time I upload a video, hit that bell icon. I also want to thank my new subscriber. Hello, thank you for subscribing. Hope you enjoyed the channel. I got more stuff coming, especially the NHL players. We're heating up, getting ready for the playoffs. And I do want to thank you for tuning in. Once again, thank you for subscribing. Tell your friends and stuff. And folks, that's about it. As always, I love you guys. Please stay safe. Take care. Remember to watching it, and I'll see you guys later for the post-game report. I mean, not the post-game, the pre-game report for today's games, and then go at it again. So, till then, peace.